Hello, friends! Do you love to travel and learn about new places and things? Great! Then you are in the right place. Join Jasmine the cat and Gracie the tortoise as they have fun exploring the USA, the world, and beyond.
Hello, friends! It's Jasmine, the jazzy gray cat, here with my bestie Gracie, the super smart tortoise. Say hi, Gracie.
Greetings, my good friends. Gracie here. I'm so glad you joined us today as we learn more about those reptiles known as snakes.
Snakes! Those are super scary and dangerous, Gracie. They jump out at you and bite you with poisonous venom and then you die. Oh!
Jasmine, don't be so dramatic. Yes, some snake venom is poisonous, but snakes are really just misunderstood. A snake only bites people when it feels frightened or scared. Also, snakes are very helpful by eating rats and mice, which are often considered pests. Many people also enjoy having a snake as a pet.
Okay, so maybe I overreacted just a little. I guess I should learn more about snakes, but I don't think I'd ever want one as a pet.
You never know. Let's start with some basics. A snake is a reptile with a long, thin body and no arms or legs. A lizard is their closest cousin. At about 2,900 different kinds, I think even you might find one you like, Jasmine.
We'll see about that. When most people think about snakes, it's usually cobras, vipers, boas, and pythons. Those are pretty scary, and it's hard not to find a snake. They are everywhere in the world, except the North and South Poles. That's probably because snakes are cold-blooded. Can you remind us what cold-blooded means, Gracie?
Of course, the body temperature of cold-blooded animals changes with the temperature of their surroundings. So when it gets really cold, snakes hibernate or go into a deep sleep.
So, if they lived at the North and the South Poles, they would always be hibernating. That would be boring. So, tropical climates are much more popular. You can find snakes on the ground, trees, and even in water. Those are called sea snakes.
Great. Now snakes have a backbone, so they're part of the vertebrate family. The spine is long and flexible, and the snake moves quickly on the ground by using their scales. There are several ways that a snake can move. The most common is in an S shape. Others, like the boa, move in a straight line, much like a caterpillar. Some look like an accordion, folding and unfolding as they move. One of the most impressive movements is called sidewinding. This is popular with desert snakes. These snakes actually move sideways across the sand by throwing their heads forward and then the body follows. It's a very good way to move across that slippery sand.
Gracie, did you know that snakes never have to go shopping for new clothes?
I didn't realize that snakes wore clothing.
Gracie, of course they don't wear dresses or pants. They're covered in scales. These scales are hard folds of skin made of keratin, the same stuff as hair and fingernails. Since snakes grow their whole lives, their skin gets too small. So when they need a bigger skin, they don't have to go to the store. They just rub up against the ground and they wiggle right out of that small skin and a new one is already in place. Super easy, but then they miss out on all the fun of shopping.
I know you do love a good shopping trip, Jasmine. Snakes don't need to shop, and they're already dressed in many colors. Grass snakes are green or brown. Tree snakes can be brown, green, olive, black, and blue, depending on where they live. Snakes that are bright colors like yellow, red, or purple often warn that they may be poisonous, so it's a good thing never to touch a snake found in the wild.
Got it. Gracie, would you believe me if I told you there was a rainbow snake? It's called the sunbeam snake and has lovely, smooth, shiny, iridescent scales that glow with almost every color in the rainbow. This is possible because the snake has a black pigment under the scales. These snakes are the squeezy kind and use constriction to kill. They are shy, but if scared, they will rattle like rattlesnakes. Do you know any colorful snakes, Gracie?
I sure do, Jasmine. The paradise tree snake, also called the paradise flying snake, is found in Southeast Asia. This snake is black and looks like it's covered with dots. The dots can be green, yellow, red, or a mix of all three. Besides being beautiful, it can flatten its body like a ribbon and fly into the air. It glides for up to 30 feet.
Jinkies, that is amazing. Beautiful and talented. But I wouldn't like to touch one. Snakes are slimy.
Jasmine, that's a myth. Snakes actually feel cool and dry when they're touched. Remember, they're made from keratin, just like your claws. And do they feel slimy?
No, they don't. Okay, next time we're at a zoo, I'm going to be brave and try. Snakes only use their noses to breathe, not to smell. Snakes smell with their tongues and by using something called a Jacobson organ that's in the roof of their mouth. Their forked tongues catch chemical molecules from the air, ground, and water. The tongue takes the molecules back to the two openings, and there you go. Pretty awesome.
These reptiles just keep getting more and more interesting the more we explore. A snake has long, sharp teeth that curve backwards. The serpent's upper and lower jaws separate to swallow large food. This way they can eat food that is much bigger than its mouth. Snakes, like cobras and rattlesnakes, have two long, hollow teeth called fangs that they use to send venom to paralyze or kill victims before eating them.
See, I told you they weren't nice.
Not so fast, Jasmine. Scientists have also found that this venom that can cause death can also be turned into medicine.
Wow! So maybe they aren't so bad after all.
Never judge something before you have all the facts. Snakes are such fascinating creatures that we'll need 2 episodes to learn about them. So now, why don't we talk about 2 favorites and save the rest of our facts for next time?
Great idea as always. Today, my favorite snake is the king cobra. Of course, I would choose a royal snake. They are poisonous and live in South and Southeastern Asia in rainforests and swamps. King cobras are the biggest of the venomous snakes, growing up to 18 feet long. Even though its poison could kill an elephant, it mostly munches on small mammals, lizards, birds, but its favorite food is a mongoose, which is an animal that looks kind of like a weasel.
I'm interested in that hood that's around the cobra's face. How does that work?
So glad you asked, Gracie. When a king cobra is mad, it makes itself look bigger by opening up a hood that goes around its face. It may look like this hood is just skin, but it's really part of its ribs. Now, while these snakes seem like bad guys, they're also the only snakes that build special nests for their babies to be born in.
Really? I thought nests were for birds.
Not these nests, Gracie. In the spring, the mom gathers leaves and twigs and makes a nest. Isn't that nice of her? Then she'll lay up to 50 eggs. She stands guard over them until they hatch, and then the babies are on their own. King cobras become adults in about 4 years, but they can take care of themselves from birth. King cobras also can live up to 20 years. Pretty cool snakes. Which snake did you pick?
I've chosen the rattlesnake. These snakes live in many places like deserts, swamps, and fields throughout the United States, Mexico, and South America. There are about 30 different kinds, but they all have that famous feature, the rattle. The rattle is found at the tip of the tail. It's used to warn enemies to back off or to confuse its prey.
How does the rattle work? Are they like those baby rattles?
Well, these rattles aren't toys, but they do work a lot like toy rattles. The sound is made when hollow, bony pieces that look like little donuts hit each other. As the rattlesnakes get older, the parts at the end of the rattle will wear out and break. But that's not a problem. New parts grow when the snake sheds its skin.
That's cool. What else you got?
The rattlesnake has some very helpful tools on its head. First, its eyes have vertical pupils like a cat.
Wow, cat eyes. How pretty.
Not only are these eyes attractive, but they help the snake see in dim light and hunt better. Another interesting feature is the pit, a hollow spot between the eyes and the nostrils. The pit helps the rattler hunt when it is dark by sensing body heat. It allows the snake to see a heated likeness of the animal.
What about babies? Do rattlesnakes lay eggs?
No, they don't. Rattlesnakes keep their eggs inside their body for about 3 months. Once they give birth, like all snakes, the babies are ready to take care of themselves.
Wow! My brain needs some time to absorb all this great info. Time for a break, and then we can explore more in our next episode. I'm ready for jokes. Gracie, what snake is a member of a rock band?
Oh my, you know I prefer classical music.
All right, I'll tell you. A rattlesnake.
Ah, I guess they use their rattle as their instrument. Now, what did the snake librarian say to the noisy children?
I know. My favorite fact is that there is a rainbow snake called a sunbeam snake. How about you, Gracie?
My favorite fact is that snakes can smell with their tongues. How about you, friends? What was your favorite fact? Don't forget to tell someone you love.
That's right, and come back next time for more snake facts. Bye now. Say goodbye, Gracie.
Goodbye, my dear friends. See you next time.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining Jasmine and Gracie on their adventure today. Come back next week for the next one.
Hello, everybody. It's Gwen here. If you want to know more about the places we visited, just go to our website, jasmineandgracie.podbean.com, and go to the sources page, and you can find out all about the great places that we visited. See you next week. Bye-bye.